You've held one of these thousands of times in your life. You've used it to write your name, draw your dreams, maybe even chew on it when you were bored in class. But here's what nobody ever told you. The little stick in your hand has survived wars. It helped write some of the greatest books ever written. And for a very short, very strange period in history, armed guards were posted just to stop people from stealing it. This is the secret life of the pencil, and by the end of this video, you will never look at one the same way again. Our story begins in the 1500s, in a small village in England called Borrowdale. At least, that's how the story has always been told. As the legend goes, a massive storm had just passed through, and when a shepherd walked across his field the next morning, he noticed something strange. A huge tree had been knocked over by the storm, and underneath its roots was a thick black rock. He had never seen anything like it. It left dark marks on everything it touched. The shepherd had no idea what it was, but he found it was great for one thing, marking his sheep so he wouldn't lose them. Word spread quickly. People came from nearby villages just to see this mysterious black rock. Scientists were confused too. It looked like coal, but it didn't burn. They called it black lead. They thought it was a form of lead metal. They were completely wrong. It wasn't lead at all. It was something called graphite, a form of pure carbon, the same element that makes diamonds. But they didn't know that yet. What they did know was that this strange rock could write, and people wanted it, badly. The graphite deposit found in Borrowdale was unlike anything ever discovered anywhere else in the world. Pure, solid, perfect for writing, and there was only one place on the entire planet where you could find it. That made it incredibly rare and incredibly dangerous to own. The English government made it illegal to take graphite out of the mines without permission. Guards were posted at the mine entrance, day and night, and people were actually searched when they left the area. Smugglers would hide chunks of graphite in bread loaves, inside vegetables, sewn into clothing, because on the black market, this black rock sold for enormous amounts of money. Think about that for a second. People were risking arrest just to steal what would eventually become the thing you use to do your homework. But here's where it gets even more interesting. For the first few decades, people just held the raw graphite in their hands to write with it. It was messy. It broke easily. Then a carpenter had a simple but brilliant idea. He took 2 pieces of wood, carved a thin groove into both of them, placed the graphite inside, and glued them together. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the first pencil, not invented in a fancy lab, not by a scientist or a king, by a carpenter who just wanted cleaner hands. Once the pencil existed, the world moved faster. Architects could sketch buildings and erase mistakes. Artists could draw and redraft without wasting expensive ink and parchment. Soldiers in the field could draw maps quickly. Pencil worked in rain, in cold, even upside down. In fact, during wars, pencils became essential military equipment. When Britain went to war with France, they cut off the one graphite source in the world pure enough to write with cleanly, the same Borrowdale deposit from our story. France was desperate, so Napoleon's own military engineer, a man named Nicolas-Jacques, came up with something new. He mixed powdered graphite with clay, fired it in a kiln, and created a formula for pencil lead that didn't need pure English graphite at all. That formula is still used in nearly every pencil made today. Writers loved the pencil too. John Steinbeck, who wrote Of Mice and Men, used 60 pencils every single day. 60 pencils every single day. He said he couldn't think properly without a freshly sharpened pencil in his hand. And here's a fun fact that will genuinely surprise you. A single standard pencil can draw a line that is 56 kilometers long. That's like drawing a line from one end of a big city all the way to the other side, and back again. Or it can write approximately 45,000 words. That's almost an entire novel. In your hand, right now, is a novel waiting to happen. Okay, before we finish, let's do the part where your brain gets a little explosion of wait, what? Fact number 1. The pencil has no lead in it. 0. None. It never did. It's called a lead pencil because of that early mistake. When scientists thought graphite was lead metal, we've known the truth for over 200 years, and we still call it a lead pencil. Humans are stubborn like that. Fact number 2. Here's one you've probably heard before, and almost nobody gets it right. The story goes that NASA spent millions of dollars inventing a special pen for space, while the clever Soviets just handed their astronauts a pencil. It's a great story. It's also false. Both space programs actually started out using pencils, but NASA ran into a real problem. In 1965, they ordered a batch of mechanical pencils for a single mission and paid over $100 each. When the public found out, there was outrage over the price tag, and there was a bigger issue too. Graphite is flammable, and a broken pencil tip can float freely inside a spacecraft, a real hazard with no gravity to pull it down. So an inventor named Paul Fisher spent his own money, not NASA's, developing a pressurized pen that could write upside down, underwater, even in extreme heat and cold. NASA tested it, approved it, and a few years later, the Soviets bought the exact same pen too. Not quite the story you've heard before, but a better one. Fact number 3. Every year, humans make approximately 14 billion pencils. If you laid them end to end, they would wrap around the Earth more than 60 times. The country that makes the most pencils in the world? China, producing about 10 billion of those 14 billion every single year. Fact number 4, and this one is our favorite. The eraser on top of the pencil was only added in 1858. For nearly 300 years, pencils had no eraser. If you made a mistake, you had to use breadcrumbs to rub it out. People literally used their lunch to fix their spelling mistakes. A pencil costs almost nothing. You can find one at the bottom of any bag, any drawer, any classroom. But inside that little stick of wood and graphite is a shepherd stumbling across a mystery after a storm. Is a carpenter solving a problem with 2 pieces of wood? Is Conte solving a wartime crisis? Steinbeck writing novels? And astronauts floating in space? Every single ordinary object around you has a story this big. The most ordinary objects carry the most extraordinary weight. You just have to know where to look. Here on Wonder Raft, we look, subscribe, and we will see you on the next one.